All right, so we have an interesting contrast for y'all today. NPR published a story. People fired over Charlie Kirk posts get big payouts for First Amendment retaliation. I'm not going to read it to you, but I do want to point some things out. So, we have about 5 people mentioned in this article received some $485,000, some $500,000, some $800,000, some $125,000. Because they were reported to by their employer for comments that they made about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Now, I have the gist of all of these stories is they make some sort of vindictive and borderline slanderous comment regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. And, somebody reports them to their employer. In some cases, it was a coworker. Now, I do find that behavior reprehensible, like going to somebody's employer about something that they said on the internet that you don't like to try to get them in trouble is ridiculous to me. But something about it doesn't sit right with me. Now, personally, I find the content of their comments to be reprobate and borderline slanderous. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Charlie Kirk did not live by the sword. In fact, he was doing the exact opposite. These women know this, but what doesn't sit right with me is that these payments, these acts of justice, only seem to go one way. Yes, they were retaliated against their First Amendment right to free speech. They sued in court. They reached very lucrative settlements. They talk about the heckler's veto and this ad hoc social outcasting, social and professional outcasting. And a lot of these settlements were paid for by the state. But when the shoe is on the other foot and generally a white American says what needs to be said or says something that disagrees with the particular perspective that the women that received the payouts might be aligned with, that disagrees with what the left has wrought on this country, when they're retaliated against, when they are fired from their jobs, and when they become blacklisted in their field of work, in their professional field, their survival and their compensation and their justice is left up to the charity of the public.
What matters is that you worship a terrorist who is a warlord, a pedophile, and Islam is a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
not a
because you're not
religion.
educated
Not a
about
religion.
it.
I'm very educated on this subject.
No, because you're obviously
You,
not.
you need to leave. You're not welcome here.
We are
This
welcome
is not a
here.
Muslim country. This is a Christian country, and
Stop
you need to
looking at
leave.
her lecture.
Or when someone who uses speech that side doesn't like, and when that person is physically assaulted in broad daylight, or things that he's said, that he's allowed to say, that's protected under the First Amendment, when he's attacked and has to defend himself, he gets denied bond 3 times, despite having come up with the money on 3 separate occasions. And they don't get their jobs back. So it just really disgusts me that these liberal aunties and some uncles are collectively getting millions of mostly taxpayer dollars in settlements, while those with right-wing or traditional values in the United States, they're finding ways to imprison these people, not just firing them from their jobs and blacklisting them from their professional field. Again, a black man stalked and then physically assaulted a white man outside a courthouse because that white man had said the N-word on the internet. And the white man discharges his firearm in self-defense and gets booked on attempted murder. The black man has a history of violent crime. The white man does not. So when Chud is found not guilty and his case is over and done with, he should also be getting a very large settlement. This woman, Dasha, who simply expressed that she wanted Muslims to leave her country and was fired from her job because of that, should also be getting a very large settlement and her job back. And that's really why I have a problem with these settlements given to people like this gluttonous, misshapen health educator, condoning the death of someone who simply tried to engage in public dialogue. People are getting really tired of this. Free Dalton Etherly, and may he get a fat settlement check when this is all said and done.